evening. Let's go ahead and check. Make sure our socials are correct. Very good. Facebook is first up. IG looking good. Let's go around the world. From London to the Bay. It's Hammer Go, MC Hammer and the rest. Can't go and play. All right. Twitter. Excuse me. YouTube is good. Got talking about fast twitch muscles. Make sure the Twitch is good. Get the word out. Everything is everything. Yes, indeed. Welcome to SandCity Sports. To the business. Yes, on the Sunday edition, SandCity Sports, the Final Four is set. I hope you pick chalk, because I picked chalk. Filled out a number of brackets. St. John's, yes, still, I'm not over that. The pride of Queens, Jamaica Queens, that is New York. The alma mater of a one Mr. Chris Mullin. Do yourself a favor and go ahead and check out his interview on All the Smoke. Never play hating, always congratulating. First class stuff. Always been a fan of Chris Mullin from BK, Brooklyn. All right. Coming up, playing for Power Memorial, and then of course when the Big East was at its apex, right? 85 Final Four, 3 Big East teams. The powerful, formidable Georgetown Hoyas, the St. John's Red Men in those days, now Red Storm, and of course the Villanova Wildcats under the capable leadership of Rolly Massimino. Okay, so speaking of shout outs, check out that interview, Chris Mullin on All the Smoke. Shout out to Mullin. I got a chance to meet him actually at the 2011 NBA draft in Newark, New Jersey. So that was super cool and just, laid back guy. And also do yourself a favor and go ahead and check out Requiem for the Big East, 30 for 30 Gold. 30 for 30. I mean, it's such a great series, so they're all classics. If you know what I'm saying. But yeah, folks, the Final Four. Shout out to Rick Pitino. Shout out to St. John's. But we have chalk. All 4 number 1 seeds advancing. Last time this happened, 2008, when we had a very talented team led by Derrick Rose out of Memphis, and a very talented team, from Kansas, right? That year in the Final Four, and that was a barnyard, backwoods brawl of a final. Mario Chalmers, the huge 3 to send it into OT, where Kansas would eventually be victorious. I was hook, line, and sinker on Kansas that year. Number of friends, family members were, they didn't sleep on Memphis and Calipari at his prime. That particular run, not about player payments, but about academic integrity, is why that run of Coach Calipari was invalidated, which begs the question, right? Now that college sports has finally admitted what everybody has known since time immemorial, right? That it's a growth economy unlike many others, billions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars over the years, okay? And the chichi beans that you were affording players have never been enough in relation to their market value. So the point is, UMass 96, Memphis again. I just said that it's not. It wasn't about player payments. It was about academic integrity. But certainly the UMass years, in retrospect, can we get those wins back? At the time, we didn't have NIL. Well, you should have. You should have had NIL. So it's good to be with everyone thus far. We're going to talk college sports. We're going to talk Major League Baseball this season. It's early days of the long marathon, but we're seeing some things out of. Just make sure that people that might want to jump on can get on the program. Talked about Mr. Soto serving notice for the New York Metropolitans. Okay, a little bit of major league action. Get into that. NFL, NIL, NFL. Just let folks know if they want to jump on, they can jump on the program. Will Aaron Rodgers ever make a decision? Probably not. Am I ever going to get organized here? Hopefully so. Let the folks know that might want to jump on. Put the phone on silent. Okay, so all those things being said, folks, we're gonna do this episode. We're gonna. I want to start with a bit of reflection, and then we'll get into my thoughts on the tournament and on the chalk that we're seeing. The rich getting richer, so to speak. Oh yeah. And let's see if I want to see. Poor production right now. I'm trying to share an image. And I hope that I can do that. Let me see. I have to cancel. Let me see if I gotta attach this tab. Can I? We're going through a bit of technical difficulties. How can I? It's not a tab. Damn it. Not off to a good start. See if I can get it. Okay, here we go. No. And the technical difficulties have taken an awful turn in that I go ahead, I try to get an image, and then it goes ahead, and because it was, let me see if I can refresh. Can't stand that. Try to go live, and then all right. Okay, so we're wonderful. I think we've worked our way around. I'm glad. So the live is back on, reconnected. Because I have issues every time, and this has been a disastrous first 10 minutes. I don't mind saying it's been ridiculously bad. But when I go and take anything from IG, it freezes the IG feed. So good news is I was able to refresh the page and get back So the IG is back where it needs to be. But I'm not going to be able. Let's see if I can. The grind is silent. Can I? I can't get it. Well, so much for that. We're going to get into college. First 10 minutes. Rating on a scale of 1 to 10, -5. My bad, folks. My bad. I'm trying to work out. But yeah, long story not so long. I'm going to be with you on this Sunday edition. Terrible start, only getting better. But I just, I had, I get content from so many different places, but, I saw the Steph Curry, picture. It's not even really a meme, of just being on and about the business. And the grind is silent. Okay. The applause are distant. Okay. As Coach K said, the will to prepare. Games are easy. The games are easy. It's the will to prepare that makes the difference. All right. And that's how SandCity Sports is coming at you tonight. Took a little bit of time, to build up the momentum, running a little bit past where we like to blast off with these episodes, but that just came from the fact that I had to reach and get some inspiration, some motivation, some encouragement. I found it, and I'm certainly thrilled that I did. So we can be with, so we can keep this passion project going. I'm going to be sharing a little bit or a lot of that later on in this particular show. I want to talk about again college first. Going to get into the NFL. NBA is on the back burner, but not really. Okay, because the playoff jockeying is going on. Major League Baseball. The beginning of a long journey is going on. So we have a number of things to touch on. But in terms of the culture, in terms of the day to day, in terms of the health and the wealth and the well being side of things, that's the beginning. Okay, and we'll get it. Bottom line, we're going to get it for you at the end of the episode. That specific picture that I was referring to. But there's a big difference between the congratulations and the applause. Excuse me, between the support and the congratulations. Right? I don't know if you've seen those pictures. That's what I wanted to get. And support. Shout out to the Black Mamba, the late great Kobe Bryant. He made no bones about it. Leadership is lonely. Leadership is lonely. Okay. And that's not just for those who are 5-time NBA champions. Okay. And have a legacy on that level. Okay. And leave behind, achievements that were truly great. That's just for every working class hero out there. That's in their own form of leadership. Getting up, getting after it, doing what needs to be done, and not allowing, right? What do they say? Somebody's buried at 80, but they die at 30, so to speak. Most men live lives of great desperation and die with the song still inside of them, if I'm to quote Thoreau. Okay. In the process of the day-to-day grind, maintaining an enthusiasm and an appreciation for the things that, the positive and productive and uplifting things that you want to do, that I want to do. Okay. I believe they call that work-life balance. So I had some imagery in relation to that. I can't get it. So let's get right to the business of March Madness. I'm thrilled. My 3 individuals that I wanted to have a chance for the championship are in the Final Four. Kelvin Sampson, Bruce Pearl, and that young man on the rise, John Shire. Okay, Rick Barnes, same. Rick Barnes is a veteran of many moons. Not a new jack. That's John Shire, but very much deserving. I think the Duke team is the most talented, frankly. I'm pulling for Kelvin the most, and then Bruce after that. as I just said, but this Duke team is ridiculously talented. On a level of this is, and it doesn't necessarily have the star power of the 2001 Duke Blue Devils. Let's get them for you on the screen as we make this. Okay, Twitch is all the way over there. We're going to bring Twitch back over. SandCity Sports. Okay. By and for the people, the fans. Yes, let's get that imagery. For the people. Super cool to see Grant Hill calling the game. It's not the imagery that I was looking for. I was in prep school during this championship. Come on, you keep giving me. I just want the imagery. Golly day, can I get a starting five? You have a picture, can you just show the picture? No. This is insanity. This is like 5 different pages of... Man. All right. So I'm going to give up on... I didn't want to have to show this one. No, because that's a Facebook. So that might knock off my Facebook. This is ridiculous. Oh, my goodness. The Duke Basketball Report. Maybe the Duke Basketball Report will. Nope. Well, technical difficulties continue. It is what it is. We're getting the 2001 Duke Blue Devils up on the screen by hook or by crook, because we have to make the connection to the 2025 Duke Blue Devils just in terms of their overall fundamental talent. All right. Goodness. Not the 2002, even though they were the same. The stars came back. The 2001. Can't. Oh, my goodness. The 99 Dead Blue Devils. It's just a comedy of errors. All right. Nope. You show pictures, but you... All right, my last attempt here. This is so... I'm going to say demoralizing. All right, and now finally we get a grainy, distant picture as the technical difficulties just continue in this journey. Right. So, I don't know if anybody can see, right? This is so far in the distance. You can see what happened in the championship game. I was in prep school at the time. I was pulling for the Arizona Wildcats. It was a big deal being in prep school. You don't have a ton of excitement and entertainment, in the Dead Poet Society realm. But you make it through. All right. Who's your daddy, Battier? Okay. Senior, the leader of the team. Played center, actually, on this team, which is interesting because he's only 6'7". Kind of crazy. Jay Williams, the driving force. Pride of New Jersey. Okay. Could have been the number 1 pick after this draft. Stayed another year. Still, went number 2 behind Yao Ming, I believe. Mike Dunleavy, number 3 pick in that draft. Carlos Boozer. Okay, so they're all sophomores on this team. It's not to be denied. See all these people. I don't see Coach K. See Woj. Excuse me. Looks like Wojciechowski out here. Oh, there's Coach K on the other side. obviously Coach K's got to be in the picture. And the point of fact is, folks, beyond these technical difficulties, these incessant technical difficulties, 20 minutes into this episode, this Duke team, right? Everybody knows Cooper Flag. The center, I believe it's Maruk, played for Luol Deng on the Sudan national team that made noise in the Olympics last summer. Okay, I think he's going to power up the charts. Kneppel, who was not as highly touted out of high school, all right, played for EYBL team out of Wisconsin, okay, and was just consistent. He wasn't, a top 10 prospect on the EYBL circuit, but he's coming to college ready. He'll be coming back next year to partner with the Boozer brothers, and his stock will jump next year. But the point, this Duke team, just looking at him, Proctor has been there. He stayed. He was a diaper dandy and he stayed and is now a junior, kind of leading this squad. So they have the leadership element. Again, different in that Cooper Flag is the diaper dandy that everyone is attached to. And really the only marketable player on this Duke team. But what I'm getting at is this team is absolutely loaded. Okay, I don't think it's questionable that they are the most talented team. And it's not just their starting five. They bring talent off the bench. Diaper dandies, and just skilled players. So John Shire can go 9 deep. 9 deep at least. And his substitution pattern I found interesting, whereas he gets his guys in the game early. Whereas Coach K was committed to his 7-man rotation, John Shire does shorten his rotation, but it's more so in the second half. Okay, and that was the major adjustment that I saw against Arizona. The game was back and forth. Arizona was shooting the lights out from 3-point range. Okay, whereas John Shire was kind of letting guys get out there and just get a taste of what it's like to be in the arena. Whereas Arizona was sticking more so with their, first 7. Guys could get in a rhythm, stay in a rhythm. They weren't really coming out too much. Whereas Duke was doing a lot of subbing in the first half, getting guys, and is actually the subs in the Arizona game that made the move, because Arizona just kept hitting threes that, pulled Duke closer, and then they kind of hit some, rocky, got a little bit rocky. Obviously, Cooper came out and hit the, 3 from the hash mark going into the half. But in that game, the Arizona game I'm speaking of, in the second half, when John Shire went with his starting 5 and just let them cook, right, that's when Duke opened that Arizona game up. That's when Maruk, the big center, had a number of just alley-oops, wasn't to be denied, blocking shots, and they just pulled away. Arizona came back, cut it to like 6, and then Duke made free throws down the stretch. All right, this Duke team is talented, okay, notably, consistently, that's not even the right word, but I feel like the Duke team is the most talented, and John Shire, again, because again, Coach K 7, and I'm a 7-man rotation guy. I'm playing my starters, and it's going to be strength against strength. Guys will come in to relieve them, but you're going to have to play against and beat my starters, and that's just what's going to have to happen. And that's how this 2001 team got down, a team that was down 20 points to Maryland in the Final Four. Coach K did not get up off the bench. Go ahead and watch that game footage. Coach K, who's known for sitting. And you see that a little bit with John Shire. He just sits. Okay, then he'll get up, sometimes say some things defensively, but he sits and he just lets the team, do what they do. Different coaches have different styles. My favorite coach is Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau on the sidelines all game, calling things out, barking. You know what I mean? That's how I, in my coaching space, that's how I get down. I'm up. Different strokes for different folks. Coach K known for sitting. I'll get up at times, but I'm sitting down. Okay? I prepared you for this moment. I'm confident in the training. And we're going to see what's going to happen. Okay, and that was the master class. Go back. It's quarter century ago, but it is what it is. Maryland, who would win the national championship the next year in 2002, was giving Duke the business, the absolute business. Up 20 in the first half. Duke was, and Coach K was, all right, y'all making y'all little move. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. And they stayed true. They trusted the process, stayed together, and Duke just, they just playing up tempo game. All right, you're gonna make your run. We're gonna make our run. All right, Boozer, Dunleavy, Battier, Chris Duhon, Jay Will. Again, a different era. All McDonald's, all Americans, off the charts. Guys staying 3 and 4 years. Okay, Maryland had Steve Blake. They had Juan Dixon. They had Baxter and Lonnie something. Lonnie Baxter might have been the name. Gary Williams, the coach. Right. So not as talented as Duke, but that was a big rivalry early 2000s, if people might remember. Okay. And just a great game. The Arizona game was different. Arizona, this is the Arizona of Gilbert Arenas fame, of Luke Walton fame. I don't know if Iguodala was on this team. Might have been a young Iguodala. I'm not sure. I don't think Iguodala was on this. I don't think so. Because Iguodala he only did 2 years. This was Jason Gardner, Richard Jefferson, Luke Walton, Gilbert Arenas, Jason Terry, So yeah, talent, against talent, but Duke was clearly the more talented. All right, and that's my thinking and my, am I pulling for Kelvin Sampson? Am I pulling for Houston? Yes. Are they up against it with Duke? Yes. And the reason being, and they were going to keep the 2001 team up there, Alabama can score. They showed that but the thing that I saw in the Alabama game was, those are the 2 top scoring teams in the tournament. Okay, so Alabama, you could score. Duke, we can score. So then we go. You guys, you want to run and gun. We want to run and gun. But Duke's length. You look at their starting lineup, and I don't know who this James guy is for them. This bodyguard that they have that plays some point forward for them reminds me of Anthony Mason. Frankly, at point forward, he's just big and physical. And by the way, Kneppel, you know what I really like about him? A little move that he, just to fundamentally sound, is on this, when he's opposite, a lot of times it's on the right side. When he's opposite on the right side and they swing it to him on the closeout and he attacks the baseline, okay, he does a good job of jump stopping and just giving it a second. And, he's 6'7", he's strong, right? So he'll jump stop and just wait and then just body you and get the layup. That's a skilled fundamental move right there. Watch Kneppel attacking opposite, how he attacks off the 3-point line, and then he just, he essentially buries a smaller, he's 6'7", he's like 240, he's a big guy. He's big. So he just waits, and then he just like you know what I mean? He doesn't elbow out, but just edges you out here to get the angle and lays it off the window. He's done that. I've seen him do it consistently, and the other point forward will do the same thing. Attack off the 3-point line, jump stop, and then just bully in that Tim Duncan-esque layup off the window. Okay? What am I saying with this? Duke's length and again, Coach K, he going to play man defense. All right, John Shire, okay, both from the Chi. John Shire, and then I grew up, I'm a little bit older, but so John Shire, folks, you look at him and Duke, Silver Spoon, and the rest of that stuff. Even though I did see, his parents, John Shire, I ain't speaking for nobody, but he's not from Chicago within the city limits, but he was the player of the year in Illinois, and he did just put in. He player of the year. It's clear. Go ahead and check out Hoop Dreams if you want to talk about the Illinois basketball tradition and what it means to be an Illinois basketball state champion. Go ahead and check out Hoop Dreams, okay? Which you might have to get up there for you on the screen. But so John Shire was a dude, okay? Don't judge a book by its cover, and He won himself a natty, deservedly so. But the point with that is, so Coach K being from Chicago proper, John Shire, greater Chicago area, Duke, they play that defense. Yeah, they play that defense. And not just that they have a back end rim protector, um, that's but they're able to I think they just slowed Alabama. Alabama, who likes to take threes and run up and down, but they were taking contested threes over bigger guys. So they weren't able to get their angle and put their touch on it. Okay. And so in a running gun game, Alabama never got going. They never made that like 10-0, 8, 1 run, because they would, and then Duke would score. And Duke was more able to keep them on the perimeter where Alabama wanted to be because they wanted to shoot a bunch of threes, but they were taking all contested threes, and Duke was keeping them in one shot. Conversely, Duke, on the other end, yeah, they can shoot the three. Proctor is lights out. They got punch. Proctor, I think, is their best 3-point shooter in the starting lineup. Cooper can hit it, of course. James can hit it, of course. They got shooters, and they shot the ball well. Canepo hit some threes. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But then Duke was also able. The alley-oop game is ferocious. They're throwing it up to Maruk. I hope I pronounced, and he's just tearing the rim down. All right, as well as just a couple of transition buckets. Cooper, just saying he had a mouse in the house. I'm just gonna walk you down. I'm just walking you down and laying it in. Period. Right. So Duke able to score in different ways. Now, of course, Houston, who I'm pulling for, known for defense, but it's going to be tough. And I mean, yeah, they're good defenders. But the thing with Houston that concerns me at times is their ability to score. Okay, they want to play a game like they scored 69 points. Duke wants to. They want to play a game in the 50s and 60s. Duke wants to play in the 80s and 90s. So it's going to be difficult. Houston. I don't know if they're going to be they're not likely to be able to hold Duke down to 50 and 60. In the 50s. If they can, then Kelvin Sampson. They'll tip my hat to you. But this, Duke, they're just skilled, and they're skilled, and they're a big team. They got height off the bench. They're guard, they're forward. Everybody is 6'5" and up, it seems, for them. And they're two-way, so again, pulling Kelvin Sampson. I'm pulling Bruce Pearl. I'm pulling for, and we got this Final Four. Let's, you know what I mean? This Final Four, you have the veteran grizzled coaches and Kelvin Sampson and Bruce Pearl, and then you got these new jacks. Tony Golden, Florida. Excuse me, I don't even know if he's 40. That's come in and woo, you saw how Florida came back. Goodness gracious, Texas Tech, make some free throws. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. It ain't about, you just didn't make free throws, period, and story. And Florida just would not to be denied. This kid Clayton, this bodyguard, what he did to the UConn Huskies, my UConn Huskies, of Danny Hurley fame, that are gonna defend and lock down the 3-point line and run you off the 3-point line. But Clayton is just hitting contested fall away. Nothing you can do about the shots. There's nothing you can do about those shots. So Texas Tech, yes, you were up 10. Yes, you felt the run coming. You missed 4 free throws. And Florida made all their free throws. That was the game. End of story. It was, and you felt them. You got shaken in your boots. You did. You got shaken. The boots were shivering for Texas Tech, shivering. Okay, and I don't know why they would be shivering. I do know why, because I understand you're in a crazed environment and the team's making a run and you doubt yourself. But then I don't understand, because the fact of the matter is, they were just, now a couple of the threes were rhythm threes. A couple times Florida got some offensive rebounds, skipped it again, and guys got rhythm threes. A couple other times these are just walk-ups, contested threes you can't do anything about. That Florida scored 100 and some odd points in the SEC championship game. They're just known for getting buckets. Known in this iteration. It's not like they, NIL, every team is just a 1-year proposition. Not like the 06, 07, right? When Horford, Brewer, and Noah just wreaked havoc on college sports. But Yeah. Although the 3-point barrage aside, if Texas Tech makes free throws, they have they can win this game. And Golden made an error up 3. He put 3 big guys in the game. Texas Tech ran a drive. They ran a drive and kicked, and they just had a wide open 3 that could have tied the game. So why the heck do you want all these bruiser, rim protecting guys when they're clearly needing a 3? We don't remember that because Florida won and went off to the Final Four happily. But that was stupid. That's what it was. Lack of a stupid. They gave up. There wasn't anybody within 10 feet of the shooter. You know the play I'm talking about. Guy drove here, skipped it there. I mean, he was disrespectfully wide open. So that was a horrendous substitution that you got lucky on. Okay, Texas Tech coach also schemed up a really good play to tie it down. Whereas Haugh had 4 fouls. The 4th foul was a nickel dimer. It was cheap. Guy coming up in transition, and that was one of the free throws that Texas Tech mixed. They didn't deserve to be at the free throw line, frankly, because it was a nickel. It was a cheap foul. It shouldn't have been a foul. Which they subsequently missed. But that was Haugh's 4th foul, so of course he can't foul. Got a stress ball that I make here, and I got my programs going on. Couldn't get my NBA basketball, you know what I mean? So we doing the classics. David Simon's The Wire. We got the classics going on, keeping, you know what I mean? Classics going on. My beer journey, I told you, my 6 beer journey. I got to get the pictures up. I'm going to get my pictures up on Tuesday or Wednesday of this week. My 6-year journey. Sideburns are strong. You know what I mean? I got to keep my sideburns strong. How it have to be. Everybody's different in their beard journey. I need, I'm a fan of the Viking hardened type style beard. Every beard's different, but that's my, you know what I mean? Check out the World Beard. I got to get that for you on the screen now. Now that we're talking about it, we're going to get the World Beard Championship for you on the screen so you can see what I'm talking about, what I mean. But back to this Final Four, it's a beautiful thing, right? The New Jacks, Golden, Shire, grizzled veterans, Sampson and Pearl. Teams that have been battling, right? Auburn and Florida, they've been battling all year. Duke and Texas is kind of a new matchup, but what the people want to see, most definitely. Stylistically, Houston defensive, Duke offensive, but I'm happy for everybody. I'm happy. This young man Golden gets a championship, then he's kind of leapfrog and under 40, but if he gets it, he gets it. Sometimes you better be lucky than good. Not that Florida's not good, but he's new face and he's in the Final Four with a team that's loaded, and a chance to win it. Okay, we know Pearl and Sampson, John Shire, but again, there's a lot of things, right? Because Duke, they're Duke, and people love to hate them and love to love them and all the rest of that stuff. And Coach K is able to play that narrative, just plays it so well. Coach K, again, a tough guy, tough Chicago kid who was a good basketball player in his own right, and no silver spoon in his mouth, but he's going to take advantage of every advantage that's available to him because, where was all this love when he was an assistant coach at Indiana? Where was all this love when he was a coach at West Virginia? Where was all this love when he was an unsuspecting hire at Duke and Dean Smith was reigning supreme, right? We know Coach K. Check out The Rise and Reign of Coach K by Ian O'Connor. I got it on Audible. Check it out. It's just tremendous. We know the Coach K who's on the mountaintop, right? On Mount Olympus, but always, right? The will to prepare. The games are easy. It's the will to prepare that makes the difference. Okay, we don't always know the Coach K that had to build and build and build to, and fight tooth and claw. Are you kidding me? Being at Duke in the 70s and being at Duke in the 70s and 80s under the reign of Dean Smith, when Dean Smith had it going on. Are you kidding me? What? I didn't know about Duke basketball in those days. People, what? Duke? Who? Carolina, man. That's the Tar Heels. That's the Wolfpack. The who? The who? Duke? What? And he from scratch built it up. So over to John Shire, one of the things, and how that went down, and Coach Case had so many assistant coaches that were longer tenured than Shire, if we're going to keep it a buck. Okay, Wojo was there. Steve Wojciechowski was there for a minute. Jeff Capel was there for a minute. Johnny Dawkins was there for a minute, plus a minute, and another minute. Tommy Amaker, who's at Harvard, was there. So it was interesting how the transfer of power worked, honestly. And you can look into that. And a lot of people said, Tommy Amaker, was the next man for the job, or Johnny Dawkins, or Wojciechowski, folks that had put in a lot more time than John Shire. John Shire was a newer assistant in Coach K's tenure. Nonetheless, let me just, my view on this is that they got it right in terms of there's been no hiccup. And this is a situation, Coach K stepped away, but I feel as though he is like the coach emeritus. He's the godfather of this program still. That's how I feel about it. It's not disrespectful. I just feel like it's not disrespectful at all. It's what I feel is how it's working. I feel Coach K is very much involved in the Duke basketball program in terms of the operation of the basketball program since his retirement. I don't feel like he retired and is on a golf course somewhere and is just chilling. I feel like Duke basketball and how the maneuvering and, I feel like he is the president of basketball operations for Duke basketball. Okay, rather than like, I'm done with this. I'm burnt out. I don't want anything. I don't even want to hear the word basketball. I'm so just burnt. Right? Too much of a good thing at times is not a good thing. Right? And like Monty Williams, we talked about that. Monty Williams was burnt out after the Phoenix situation. And he told everybody, I'm burnt out. I need to get away. I'm burnt out. I can't do this anymore. It's a great job. It's great people. It's great food. It's great travel. It's a great life. Comparatively, I live a wonderful life. I do what I love. I get all these other opportunities that go with it. Is it fiercely difficult? Yes. Am I capable and true to this to be able to do it on the highest level? Yes. But I am tired. I'm exhausted. I need to get away. I need it. Hear me. I need it. That's what Monty Williams told everybody. And the Detroit Pistons went ahead and gave him a bag. Anyway, they gave him a bag. And what happened? It was a disaster. Okay? Because you're not getting, peak Monty. You know what I mean? You're getting somebody. I done told you. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of it. I need to get away so I can appreciate it again. I'm sick and tired of it. And you just kept me right in the mix. And what happened? Detroit was losing like 25, 28 straight. However many games they lost in a row, it was ridiculous. It was out of this world. So you shouldn't have, I told you what was going to happen. But again, in sports, we just feel, we know that we're just going to, it's going to happen. Okay, now you brought in a coach that is, that's talented and capable and wants to, and Detroit, oh my God, they've been talented for years. They had no leadership. Shout out to JB Bickerstaff. Okay, and he done brought prosperity to Detroit, and we know what Kenny Atkinson's doing in Cleveland. Okay, the point of fact, back to John Shire, folks, is that he leapfrogged guys to get the job. And he's doing a great job. And this is not about one versus the other but I feel as though, you know what I mean, the transfer of power, right? Philip to Alexander. I'm not going to, but you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to put John Shire with Alexander the Great. It's not what I'm saying. But Coach K is very much, you know what I mean? Whereas if it had been a Tommy Amaker or a Johnny Dawkins or, you know what I mean? It's, you know what I mean? Or a Woj. You can even talk about Quinn Snyder. The coaching tree is so rich, right? It was, and Coach K, I feel, you know what I mean? Let me give it to the apprentice because it's going to be, John Shire is much more amenable, right? To allowing Coach K to kind of have the strings, and manage the strings. Whereas if it had been somebody that he already spent 20 years with, and you know what I mean? It's like, Coach, there would have been some friction there. There would have been friction. Coach, I've been with you, Johnny Dawkins. Tommy Amaker, 10, 15 years with Coach K. And not that you don't want to honor Coach K and, and do things his way and stuff like that, but they would have had, Coach K would have had a much harder time, telling them to do things. Now, of course, they would have wanted to incorporate, but at a certain time, like, I got to take the reins. I got to take the reins. It's been 25 years. I don't have as much time now in my career. Whereas John Shy, a young guy, you think, I got time. If this dude thing doesn't work out, I'm going to do my best. If it doesn't work out, then I go somewhere else and do, do my own. And he's doing his own, but, Coach K is very much a part. And hey, bottom line, if Duke wins a Natty, everybody going to celebrate. The brotherhood is going to be pleased. Even though there, in my view, were some ruffled feathers during the transition. Okay? I think the powers that be in college basketball are high-fiving right now. We want the Cinderellas and the underdogs until we have to sit down and watch them. And then I don't want to watch that. But we have strength against strength. Big brands. SEC, Auburn in Florida. These are football schools, but they're gonna get that college basketball money. They're gonna have the college base. They're gonna take those caravans that follow for football, and they gearing up. They're gearing up to support the basketball. And it's Duke, you already know that it's gonna be pandemonium. Okay, Houston, a newer on this level. Why I'm really a lot of respect and just for Kelvin Sampson, because again, Houston was a thing in the 80s, in the mid 80s. It's 40 years ago. Okay, hasn't been a thing since then. He's brought Houston back into that limelight that it really only enjoyed with Phi Slamma Jamma. So they're gonna be, and it's in San Antonio. So what are we talking about here? It's a home Final Four for Houston. Okay. And so yeah, you're gonna get the ratings and talk about NIL and killing mid majors, and that's a whole other thing to get into, right? Not gonna cry too many tears for the mid majors right now, but just sticking with it, it's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing. So go Houston, go Tigers, Blue Devils and Gators. I ain't mad at you. Cape Cod Kid is not mad at you. Go out there, and if it's time for the young ones to come and ascend to the throne, hey, that's what it is. That's it's going to be competition. Okay, one generation battling against the next in both matchups, which is super cool. Florida and Auburn is generational. Duke and Houston is generational. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, I'm going with the Grizzle veterans. I want them to. But hey, like you said, like we say, you don't know. You can always use the Dan Marino example. You're new and you're fresh, and you get there in year 2, and it's gonna be this, and you never get back. So you gotta strike. You strike where that iron is hot, because you don't know. You know what I mean? At the time, it feels like it's all gonna be sunshine and rainbows. Never know. So get it while you can. Don't take nothing for granted, and get it, and go ahead and get it while you can. Okay, folks, we on the Sunday check-in, SandCity Sports. Glad to be with you. As I said, came in a little bit late. Was having my little bit of doubts. Keeping it a buck. But then just had to get the motivation to do the passion project. You know what I mean? And to keep on keeping on. Again, it's the will to prepare. Right? Games are easy. Will to prepare. That's what makes the difference. Another thing Coach K says that resonates deeply with me. I don't look at myself as a basketball coach. I look at myself as a leader who happens to coach basketball. Look at myself as a leader who happens to coach basketball. Okay, so for the people that's out there rocking with SandCity Sports, I certainly appreciate you. For my Instagram people, it might stop because I gotta go ahead and do. I'm gonna do some culture stuff. I'm gonna do some culture stuff. So the Instagram might cut off, and I'm working on that. Um, Anybody has any way to troubleshoot, just let me know. But we're gonna do a couple things just in terms of the culture and perspectives and so on and forth. So we're gonna start just with the grind. Shout out to my man, like I know him. Shout out to Gil and Gilbert, Gil's Arena and how he's built up his platforms from scratch. Shout out. Um, but we're gonna talk about, you know what I mean, the grind. The grind. Let's get the volume. We need some volume here.
Your success is nothing, right? You haven't even faced demons yet.
Say what?
Right? There's people that you done beat up on that's sitting there looking at your score every day, training to get they get back. You got to worry about that player, right? You got to worry about players that's not even in this country. You got to worry about there's your name, that list is nothing. So you have to work on the fear that someone's coming to take what you want. So that means you got to wake up every day, train every night, study, get better. You don't have no time to sit in glory because high school ain't glorified. Right? It's just a place. You got to get to college, no matter what you do in college, and then that where you get tested to see if you're a real basketball player is in the NBA, and when you get there, you cannot hide.
No hide.
Right? If you ain't ready, goddamn it, they're gonna let you know you ain't ready, and they're gonna break you. I said, you supposed to shoot 200 shots a day, 365. This is what it look like. Right? Every day you miss, this is how many more shots you got to make.
Okay.
And take. So every day you miss shooting, it gets harder on the back end. Your success is
Run it
nothing.
back, yo. I need to hear that again. I gotta hear
Right?
it again.
You haven't even faced demons yet.
I thought I was successful.
Right? There's people that you done beat up on that's sitting there looking at your score every day, training to get they get back. You got to worry about that player.
Okay.
Right? You got to worry about players that's not even in this country. You got to worry about there's your name, that list is nothing. So you have to work on the fear that someone's coming to take what you want. So that means you got to wake up every day, train every night, study, get better. You don't have no time to sit in glory because high school ain't glorified. Right? It's just a place. You got to get to college, no matter what you do in college, and then that where you get tested to see if you're a real basketball player is in the NBA, and when you get there, you cannot hide. Right? If you ain't ready, goddamn it, they're gonna let you know you ain't ready, and they're gonna break you. I said, you supposed to shoot 200 shots a day, 365. This is what it look like. Right? Every day you miss, this is how many more shots you got to make. And take. So every day you miss shooting, it gets harder on the back end. Your success.
Okay, so it look like we good over there. Okay. You want to stop sharing? Yeah. Shout out to Gilbert Arena. Shout out to Gil's Arena. When the success comes, that's sometimes they say that's when your journey first really starts. When you have success, right? A lot of times we think of once I become successful, then it's just like this different plane and plateau and way of life that and everything and this that and time and time again you hear folks as soon as you get successful, that's when the journey really takes off. Okay, so brace yourself. Yeah, that's something that whatever phase that you're in, whether you're climbing, whether you're stagnant, whether you tripped and fallen, whether you build, that's something I think you can take away from any phase. It is just having the hunger and the fear, to either level up. And I think what Gil was saying is it's not even, it's about, you got to, I think what he established, life is a continuing leveling up. You know what I'm saying? NBA star, max money. So, and then you still got to level up and level up and level up and keep it and keep it going. Okay. So that's, but speaking of leveling up, and we're going to continue to shout out those that's just doing quality. We're gonna shout out those that's doing quality. I done told you about Gil's Arena. Okay, shout out my man Cam Newton. You guys want to talk about shut up and dribble? And people can't have different platforms and can't have express ideas. Okay, what he's doing with his platform and this whole is the content that I've seen from this interview alone is off the charts. Go ahead.
Where you get your education, but you better be obsessed with education, or this world's going to about to zero you out. Let me flip this. Come on with it.
He said, "Come on with it."
So you and I met at the airport.
Yes, sir.
On the way to the airport, you saw
Cam said, "Come on with it."
One of the fast food restaurants. 5 years ago, 3 years ago, it was 12 people working in that McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a pad.
Yeah.
And there's 3 people in the back. That's robotics. That's AI. That's automation.
That's 21st
You go to
century.
CVS. You go to the grocery store. It's subtle. It's subtle. It used to be 12 people in the 12 grocery lines.
Lanes 8 is now open.
That's it. With Pookie going, what you want? I want my milk. Not your attitude. Right? No Pookie. She's gone.
Out of there.
Out of there. You have a high school education, attitude, and you're lazy, you're done. You're done. I don't care who you are. It's not about black or white or red or blue. It's about green. It's always been about green. I don't care where you get your education, but you better be obsessed with education.
Run that back now.
Or this world's going to about to zero you out. Let me flip this.
Zero me out. Zero folks out.
So you and I met at the airport.
Yes, sir.
On the way to the airport, you saw McDonald's or one of the fast food restaurants. 5 years ago, 3 years ago, it was 12 people working in that McDonald's. Now it's a pad.
Yeah.
And there's 3 people in the back. That's robotics. That's AI. That's automation. You go to CVS. You go to the grocery store. It's subtle. It's subtle. It used to be 12 people in the 12 grocery lines.
Lanes 8 is now open.
That's it. With Pookie going, what you want? I want my milk. Not your attitude. Right? No Pookie. She's gone.
Out of there.
Out of there. You have a high school education, attitude, and you're lazy, you're done. You're done. I don't care who you are. It's not about black or white or red or blue. It's about green. It's always been about green. I don't care.
Shout out to Cam. Clips I've seen from that. Woo! He said it ain't about the black and the white or the red and the blue. It ain't about none of that. But ain't about none of that. We get the fighting and the tussling and the arguing. It ain't about none of that. No black, white, no red and blue. He said it's been about green. That's what he said. It's about the green. I haven't heard that phrase, zero you out. Again, back to this idea of competition that Gilbert Arenas was talking about. This idea of competition. We're fed the 24/7 fantasies and the highlight reel and all the rest of that stuff, but competition. We don't always talk about or think, I think we live it out. We get up every day and work and hustle and we live it out, but we're not always given tools to help us within the competition. Is my kind of take. Well, maybe I negate that very point because, IG is just delivering gem after gem after gem. Gem after gem after gem. I'm going to save one of these clips because we didn't talk about baseball, but I'm going to save Reggie Jackson had a very important take or some very important commentary that we will get to, that we're going to get to going forward. You can't forget to have fun, folks. So we're going to get to that. We're going to get to Reggie Jackson's take. This has been an hour-long check-in. Oh, we're going, you know what I mean? But we don't do SandCity without having some fun. Never that. We're going to have some fun. Okay, we're going to go back a little bit, but we're going to have some fun this. Right? Hold up. Remember, it's the Heatles. The old school Heatles. Okay? First of all, Who is the dude with the chain on and the bear? Chris Bosh in there. Who is this guy here? Right? We gotta make some time for some fun. You understand? Mario Chalmers in the Super Mario. What? That's just Birdman, set it off. We gotta have some fun, man. It's gotta, you know what I mean? I know LeBron and Stephen A is going through their go-through right now. There's some go-through that's happening right now. And it's always, we're not going to agree all the time. That's not life. That's not, it's politics and economics and there's all kind of things. But we got to have some fun. I credit LeBron. We got to have fun. Okay? It's Sunday, but I'm already ready for Taco Tuesday. But I'm already ready for Taco Tuesday. LeBron done got me ready I'm ready for that Taco Tuesday. We got to have fun. And this is what I was trying to get in the beginning. No, it's not. It's not the right one. Dog on it. No, now you done. I got to get. That was a good one. That was more. Hold on. But we're going to get. No, we're going to hold off. I got it for you. No. See, once I say I got something, then it wants to. We're not going to end the show with the same. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Okay, this is where this iteration of SandCity began. This is where it's going to end on this Sunday episode because I was having my doubts. And worrying and but hey, I got up this morning and I got up and I got out. I had the referee today. I had to get on the road and go referee. Beautiful thing, great games. Okay, but the games are great. I had a great time, but it's the will to prepare. I wasn't having a great time at 7:00 when my behind was up. 7:00 getting up wasn't a great time. I prepared. I said, last night I said, I got to do it. So I woke up, and and I said, but when I get up and I get off to a good start, I say, hey, maybe today I get an episode in. I'm up. I made it that far, thankfully, gratefully. Maybe so. But by the time you get to the end of the day, you get tired and you say, no. Okay, no. I had to come in and get some motivation to keep going. The grind is silent, folks. Right? Okay, the grind is silent. Everyone is there for the congratulations. Okay, this phase of the journey, that extra mile, okay, never crowded, as I've heard. It's never crowded. When he was unranked in high school, this guy right here, unranked, NA, not available, his ranking. He wanted to go to Georgia Tech where his dad went. They told him, we can redshirt. We can't play you this year. You're not ready. Okay, you're not explosive. Okay, you're not, all the doubts. He said, I'm taking my talents. I'm going where I'm wanted, where I'm appreciated, where I'm celebrated, where I'm encouraged, pushed. I'm taking my talents to Davidson. We didn't know much about him year one, a little bit more in year two. He broke on the scene in year three, and the rest is history. Then he came into the NBA. People was talking about, I can't play with him. Don't like his style. Injuries, ankle injuries, all the rest of that stuff. Changed his body. Used to be much thinner. Okay, you see Steph Curry. You get next to him. He's not a small dude. Okay, but a lot of that took place during the silence. Okay, we was all with the next explosive athlete because that guy Steph Curry, he's a one-trick pony. You can't win shooting jump shots. We don't know about him. The grind is silent. Okay, the pride of Be More, the DMV, basketball nerd proudly, Kevin Durant. Them sacrifices are invisible. Okay, we remember who the number one player in his class was. People thought he was going to be injury prone and couldn't last in the NBA. Didn't look like he had great physical strength, but clearly he has great functional strength. And he's committed to the game 100%. Traded a bunch of draft picks in this guy for Paul George. Looks like Sam Presti knew what he was doing. Looks like we're going to have a new most valuable player in the association. A team that is coming for the chip. We know this full well in the Commonwealth. That growth is slow. Nicola, it's getting more crowded. It's getting more crowded. Not as lonely. The late great, it's not as lonely. Huh? But that's the genesis right there. You heard? That's the foundation. Not the other way around. That's the rule. Okay? The mountaintop is the exception. Right? We got to remember that. We got to remember that. So that's what I needed. I'm glad I got it. Looking forward to start the episode. Proud to finish the episode with this. You know, because this is what it's about. Okay? And how we find that within ourselves, within our support systems, within our communities, within our families, significant others, whatever the case may be. Okay, and we use that and we allow that to help us to keep going in positive and productive and uplifting and encouraging fashions. That's what time it is. You heard me? So keep going, even and especially when nobody is watching. Sunday weekend edition of SandCity Sport. Oh, goodness, we went over an hour with that. I mean, the hour just flew by. Okay, we're going to keep this going on, getting it to the point whereas, hey, do an hour, do 2 hours, 3, you know what I mean? Who knows what can be done, okay, in terms of SandCity Sports, okay? So I am your host, folks. Thank you. The Cape Cod Kid, artist formerly known as Andre King. Thank you so much for tuning into SandCity Sports, where we do this. We does this. Okay, on a Sunday check-in, all right, edition, and we will see you again the next time. Peace!